Hey, my name is Brian Nail, and I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Bank. I just want to say how much I truly enjoy being a part of the Spread the Positive Network. It's an incredible mission that brings so much positivity to our community. It's been a real pleasure to be involved. Now, when it comes to financing a home, there are a lot of options. And in a market like today's, having the guidance of a trusted local professional can make all the difference. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home, second home, an investment property, or explore refinancing options, I'd love the opportunity to earn your trust and help guide you through the process. If I can help you nail your mortgage, give me a call at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, Trent Denson. As always, got a really awesome guest with us today. New friend just came into the studio a few minutes ago, and we connected on LinkedIn over the past couple weeks. Mr. Rick Heagarty, how are you, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. So we've got to catch up a little off mic, but man, you have quite the story.
You don't realize how much you do until you put it on a piece of paper,
right? Man. But man, just the brief conversation we just had, it's really awesome, man.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
I like to take it back to young Rick, early passions, and anything, childhood related you like to share, and then we'll kind of work our way up.
I think just a typical kid, right?
Yeah.
Love sports.
Nice.
Grew up in a good family.
Nice.
Spent a lot of grew up in California.
What part?
In Northern California,
Okay.
a little town called Lodi. I would tell everybody it's about halfway between San Francisco and Lake Tahoe.
Got you.
In the valley. So
Man, I bet that was beautiful.
really, yeah, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Great childhood.
Nice.
Sports minded. Had a lot of fun. A couple of sisters and a brother. Went to college. Played a little college football.
Where?
Drake University.
Okay. Nice.
Which is in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
Which is where I met my wife. And,
Nice, man.
Yeah, it was just a pretty good, pretty standard, pretty
Yeah.
typical path
Okay.
for a young man that, was looking for a college career and to have some fun.
Yeah.
That's what it was about.
I can relate to that. Had some good times in college for sure. Okay, so college at Drake, played some football. What was next?
So I got it. I didn't have any idea, right?
Okay.
I had a psychology degree, so really didn't know what I was going to do with that. Somebody asked me why I chose psychology. I had a really cool psychology teacher in high school.
Nice.
So that just seemed like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was college to me was about my girlfriend, my wife now, and football.
Yep.
And then school was like a distant third. So I didn't
Totally.
really probably apply myself probably the way I should have. But got started early on a family. Moved from Des Moines to just across the Midwest, letting a corporate job chase us around. Landed in Tennessee in 2005. I was in corporate America working for a building material manufacturer.
Okay.
And was really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And 5 children.
Okay.
So really went for it with the kids.
All in on the.
Yep, all in on the
Got a
kids.
starting five,
And,
okay.
like I mentioned before, when you have that many kids, you have no choice but to be involved in the community,
Right.
whether it's school or sports. Or we have a very, very active family, so we are very involved in the community. And through my
Go lay down. I'm sorry.
that's okay. Through my corporate, tenure, I was fortunate enough to get an MBA.
Nice.
And as I was getting my MBA and going through leadership development with the corporate company I was working for, didn't realize, but they were basically training an entrepreneur when they sent me for my MBA. So spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to do, and had a great partner, still have a great partner.
Nice.
We were, best friends and started a great business in 2011
Okay.
in the building material, because I worked corporately in the building material segment for a building material manufacturer. And we started a building material distribution company, and it became wildly successful.
That's
and
so cool.
through the years, we vertically integrated. We added categories based on the needs of the customer. Every year we'd have a customer roundup, and we'd ask them pain points. And we'd have a general contractor, who was our customer. They would tell us a pain point is There's really nobody that does kitchens well. There's really nobody that does countertops well. There's nobody that does exteriors well. There's nobody that is doing civil engineering well. There's nobody that's doing, land survey, whether it was multifamily or residential. So we just vertically integrated the company through the years. And then 2 years ago, we were able to sell 3 of the 6 companies we owned.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, to a large company out of Rochester, New York.
Okay.
So
that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yep. And it's been interesting because the transition, right?
Right.
What's interesting when you sell a business, you go from having a ton of value one day to the people that work for you,
Yeah.
to having very little value the next.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Because they have new bosses and new ownership.
Right.
And the transition time was not really that easy for me, because I'm a big leadership. I'm a big leadership development guy. Right. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I think about developing people. Right. So we were able to retain 3 businesses, which are a custom closet company called Southern Closets,
Nice.
which is headquartered in Smyrna, just down the road. A civil engineering firm, which is a full land planning development company called 615 Design Group.
Right.
And then we've got a land survey and construction staking company called Land IQ. And they're all kind of adjacent to each other, other than the closet company. And what I do on a daily basis is I manage and help in those 3 companies. We do have people that run all 3 of those companies that are, what I would call general managers that run those companies. So I spend most of my time today strategy, working, on the business as opposed to in the business, people development, leadership development. So those are really a lot of things that I do today.
Where did the leadership development passion come from?
Well, what's interesting is I was always like the captain of the team, right?
Okay. Just early on.
Yeah, right. And I
Okay.
was confused because I thought it was popularity, right?
Yeah.
And I think that young people today, they get confused with leadership being a popularity contest.
Sure.
But I was always the one that was coming up with the ideas,
Right.
pushing the ideas. And I didn't do a lot of following, which really, I think about my dad probably struggled raising me, because he would probably tell you I was a rebel. I was just
what
a
it
kind of a
takes,
rule
man.
bender, right?
Yeah.
I would always push the envelope,
I love that.
right? And I didn't realize that later in life, that was just early signs of leadership,
Right.
right? Because I think a leader today, sees opportunity, attacks opportunity, and then finds a way to seize it, right?
Amen. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
But I also
so just
think,
early
yeah,
on,
yeah,
you were
yes.
the captain. You were rallying the troops, getting the boys together.
Yeah.
you
Always
know?
like whatever job I had, I always became kind of the manager. I always people would come to me with questions. I'm also one of those guys that people share way too much information with. So my
What
wife,
is that, man?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It
man.
drives my wife crazy, because people will
that
tell me
happens
stuff.
to me all the time.
People tell me stuff that they shouldn't tell me.
It's
right?
the craziest thing. I don't like. Yeah, it used to happen to my aunt, and she didn't like it, and she's just like, I don't ask for this at all, but people just will spill their guts to.
Yeah.
It's me. That was like our running joke forever. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's sometimes a burden.
Yeah,
right.
It really is.
Because
it's
you've
weird.
got stuff in your head where you're like, I shouldn't know that, right?
What am I going to do with this information?
I
No,
know,
totally.
I know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but then through jobs
Yeah.
and youth coaching
Yes, man.
and
team
community
sports. Yep.
leadership and
Mhm.
inside of the business, right? I was also fortunate to do a leadership development program through the Wharton School of Business,
Wow.
which was incredible,
I
right? And so I learned a lot about leadership from a textbook standpoint,
Right.
right? Then in 2016, my partner and I wrote a book
Nice. Okay.
called Standing Room Only, and it's an entrepreneur's guide.
Okay.
And one of the chapters in the book is about leadership, but not from the traditional standpoint of, hey, he's a leader, and why? Because he's standing in front of everybody talking, and apparently he's just the one running the ship. It came from the standpoint of why people follow. So my approach to leadership was to understand why people follow. And then once you understand why people follow, you can tailor your leadership style to that,
That's beautiful.
or the management style, right? And I was always pretty successful from that standpoint, and it worked for me. It just worked for me.
Just natural.
Now the other thing too is, I have a partner that complements the other end of that.
Okay.
Right? Because
That's huge.
when you talk about, you've heard the saying before, seeing the forest through the trees.
Yep.
I'm that guy.
Right.
Now my partner is the guy that sees the trees.
Right.
Right.
There's some obstacles.
Yes. Right. And when you focus so much on the positive and you see that forest, you miss some things along the way. Right. And you miss some details.
Mm-hmm.
And my partner is just a great detail guy.
That's so cool.
So it's been, so the partnership has been, absolutely incredible. And when you think about so I've been married for 31 years too. So you think about, majority of marriages, more than 50% of men in divorce. Why does that work so well? And then you think about my partnership, my business partnership, more than 70% of business partnerships fail, right?
That's crazy.
So you wonder why, right?
Yeah.
So it's got me to dig into it.
Yeah.
Right. So why did those things work for me? And I think because the people, these two partners I have, my wife completely compliments me. My business partner does the same. And you would hope that they say the same about me, right?
I'm sure they do.
So when you think about that and you think about, okay, what's the basis of this, right? Because I think when you think about, every relationship is going to end. And it ends these 4 ways, only these 4 ways, right? Death, right? Some sort of disability. I can't do that anymore because I'm disabled and I can't physically do it. A divorce, or you're just done, right? I'm just done. So I'm in a partnership,
4Ds,
a business.
huh?
Yeah. So I'm in a partnership and I'm just tired of doing that and I want to be done. Or I've got a bad partnership because partners don't trust each other or something bad happened. And it's a divorce. Same thing with a marriage, right?
Yep.
Or, I'm an athlete and I get hurt.
Right.
And I can't be an athlete anymore because I'm disabled. Or then it's the big one, the death, right? That just ends them all, right? So when you think about those 4 things and those relationships are going to end in one of those 4 ways, you think about how productive can I be in the time with my partnership? And it comes down to 3 things. Without a doubt, these 3 things. And in this order: transparency, trust, and toughness.
Ooh.
So the transparency. So you and I are going to become partners, right? I think it's very important that you lay out everything on the table. You want to know my economic position, my finances, my family position, my ethical and moral beliefs, and those things that I believe in that are important. Those are the things that create trust, right?
Right.
And then that third one, toughness. If you don't have toughness, it's not going to survive because you can't have those tough conversations.
Yes.
You can't, and I remember early days in my marriage, I would keep things from my wife because I wanted to protect her, right? Because I didn't want her to worry.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
And then you think to yourself, okay, now what I've done is I've just taken that away from her. I've taken that reaction away, right? Which then becomes an even worse reaction when they find out what you're keeping from them,
Right.
right? You don't want to tell somebody you're having a bad month,
Right.
right? Business as usual, keep spending the money where you're spending it. Yeah, let's make sure we go on vacation and you're having a bad month in the business. You don't want to share it, right? Because you don't want anybody to worry, right? So it comes back and it kind of it hits you, it hurts you, right? So once you get to that toughness piece and you can say, hey, I got to be tough. I got to stand up. I got to talk. I want to make sure everybody knows. I want to put everything on the table. Comes all the way back to that transparency piece, right?
That's beautiful.
So, and that's what I think works. And I think you keep it pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right. And
I mean,
you don't,
it really is simple, but not easy.
yeah. My partner and I today are starting new businesses even today.
Nice.
Right. So we're going to take it as far as we can.
That's so cool.
And
How
I
did
think,
y'all meet?
so it's interesting. I was in corporate America and he was a developer and he was building a subdivision.
Okay.
And he wanted to spec the products that my company manufactured. So he needed some technical specs, and it was just a random phone call. And I went out and met him at his job site. And
No way.
he was a college wrestler, very similar sense of humor,
Sure.
very similar belief system. We both wanted to go for it. So we talked for years about starting a business. I mean,
Wow.
it didn't start right away. We were friends first. And then we finally saw an opportunity after the Great Recession to start a building material supply company coming out of the Great Recession. And it worked, and it worked really well.
What did you see as the opportunity during that time? Because that was a crazy time. I mean, that was wild.
Yeah. So in the building segment, when builders went through 08, 9, and part of 10, they scaled, right? They
Right.
realized that they could do a lot more with less.
Right.
So, say for instance, a general contractor's purchasing department. Prior to 08, it was a team of people,
Okay.
right? Through 08, it was one person,
Right.
right? They eliminated the whole department, and there was just one purchasing agent. And then when they came out of the recession, they didn't replace that department.
Mm.
They may have added one more person. So we really learned how to do a lot more with less during the recession. So we created a company that could essentially be a purchasing department, a design department. We did a lot of value engineering for builders on showing them better products to use at a more cost-effective way. We partnered with a manufacturer, actually the one that I used to work for, we partnered with. So we got products into market that weren't, that builders wanted to use, but were not being distributed properly through the market.
Wow.
So we were able to really seize a moment, and the growth was incredible. The growth was incredible. It was
So
actually the two. What's interesting is his wife is an entrepreneur as well. She owns a dance studio in Franklin, and our first office was in the back of the dance studio. And we
Nice.
used to roll out plans when the girls weren't dancing. It was an Irish dance studio, so we used to roll plans out on the dance floor, and we'd scale them, and we'd do
That's awesome.
takeoffs, and then the
That's
girls would
so
come in to
cool.
dance. We'd roll them up and go back into the back office, and we went
Man.
from that small space to a 10,000 square foot space to then
Whoa.
a 25,000 square foot
Wow.
space, and today they're in a 70,000 square foot space,
Jeez.
right? So the growth has been fantastic. Multiple states, multiple locations. It just was it was fun. Now there was some tough times
Yeah,
too,
I'm
right?
sure. I'm
Those ups
sure.
and downs for sure, right?
Sure.
And yeah, it was just a good run.
Man,
It was a good run.
that's so awesome. And talk to me about the three companies now. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, just with the overseeing all three of them and just the day-to-day type stuff. But I mean, 615, I was looking at the 615 design website. I mean, y'all do everything, right? Residential, commercial, multifamily.
Mhm.
I mean,
We even built a private ski lake for somebody in Gallatin, Tennessee.
a private ski lake.
Private water ski lake. Yep.
Okay. So
Yep.
how? Like, how do you do all of this?
Well,
Like,
the
that's
thing is
insane.
I'm not a civil engineer, so but I am a guy that sees opportunity,
Right.
right? So a close friend of mine had an idea to start a civil engineering firm and asked me to be a partner, and we were able to partner up and start it. I mean, he's the one that is the genius behind it. His brain works. Engineers' brains work way
Yeah.
differently than mine,
mine.
right?
Not mine
Yeah, me
either.
neither. And he is in the weeds a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and he is figuring out why water should go that way and not this way, and why buildings should sit here and not there.
Right.
And
That's so
it
fascinating.
is really fascinating, and I've learned an awful lot about it because we've been in that business now for almost 6 years. So the nice thing about that, though, from our other businesses, when you get into the civil engineering world, you get a really early line of sight
Oh,
on when things are starting,
right.
right? So I'll know a couple years in advance before the rest of my competitors do when a project is starting.
Wow. That's huge.
So when you talk about, like a big national builder just bought 300 acres in Sumner County and is developing, 500 lots, and they're going through planning, and our civil engineering company is doing the design work on it. I can start to talk to that builder about the design of the homes and what they plan on doing and what price band they're going to be in and what categories that we can offer in our categories that we do, right?
Wow.
Because I'm still involved with the companies that we sold.
Right.
And the reason I'm still involved is because my oldest son runs those companies.
Nice.
Right, so,
Wow. That's incredible.
I'm still pretty plugged in, and I
Right.
want them to do
to
well.
succeed,
Sure,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
still really plugged in over
Yeah,
there.
that's so
And
cool.
so then what 615 did was, one of the very first things that you need to do when you're in the land planning business like that and site design is you need to have a survey.
Right.
They need to know where the property starts and stops.
Yep.
So every year we were sending out hundreds of thousands of dollars in contractor work to a survey company. And I said to our managing partner that runs the business, I said, we should start a survey company. So again, thinking of the vertical engineering, right? The vertical, just the intent of doing more inside of the company, right? The vertical integration. So we started a survey company.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and we've been able to keep in-house that money we were spending before. Plus, we set that company up on its own platform. So now it's also calling on other civil engineering firms and selling their services to other civil engineering firms. And it's been going very, very well. And the guy that runs that company is fantastic as well. So it's also people.
Yeah,
right?
It's always people.
The people piece is, I mean, if it's not the most important, it's pretty darn close.
I'd argue it is.
Yeah.
So,
and then the
cool.
one that's really separate is our closet company. It's we do
that's big business though.
It is, right? So
that's big business, especially around here or some, Franklin, Brentwood, all that.
And the tickets are big, right?
Yeah.
The tickets are expensive, but it's full custom.
Yeah.
Full, whatever color, lighting, I mean, hardware. I mean, it can be, whatever you want it to be.
Right.
And it's also a space too, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. This is interesting because, today the size of the house is growing, but it's not growing on the footprint of the piece of property because the setbacks are the same with the cities and towns and municipalities. They're not letting the house get bigger on the piece of land. They're just utilizing more space inside the house, right? So when I was a kid, the space over the garage was the attic.
Right.
Today, it's called the bonus room.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So houses have lost so much storage.
Mm-hmm.
So by offering custom closets, linen closets, garage systems, pantries, we've been able to help people really organize their homes really, really well.
Yeah.
And it looked cool too, right? Right. So it's been a really great business. It really has.
Really cool.
And that's probably the biggest growth that we see going forward.
Really?
Yep. Because today, I mean, I'll go to a new development that is just kicking off, and the house price bands, the houses will be in that $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, and I'll walk into the closet and it's wire shelving.
Right.
And I'm like,
it's wild.
It's kind of crazy what people accept at that price point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at that price point, you wouldn't accept Formica countertops, or you want higher quality. And why the closet has been left out is just kind of blows our mind, and that's why we started it.
Right. Oh,
so not only do we sell
that need
yeah,
too?
not only
wow.
do we not only do we sell to, to Mr. and Mrs. Jones from a retail standpoint, we also sell to builders.
Right.
So we'll go to a custom builder that, his carpenter has been building the closets with MDF. We'll go in with a designer and actually design a closet that actually works better for that space.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's been pretty good.
Man, you really do have like everything covered.
Well, it's the other thing too, right? Is you look inside the house and you're like, what category can I still hit where I still can make money?
Right.
Because there's categories that are very, very saturated too.
Right.
And we also want to be in a business that wasn't commoditized either. Lumber, drywall, those, roofing, those things that are really commoditized. We didn't want to be in those pieces of the business.
Right.
Because we wanted to, still provide value.
Absolutely.
Right?
Man, that's fascinating. What a story, man. This is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for sharing this.
Sure.
So what's on deck? What are you excited about?
What am I excited about? Well, I got grandkids.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited about that. Been doing a lot of traveling with my wife. Excited about that. But I'm not one of those guys that I think will ever retire.
Right.
I don't think my generation retires. I think my generation gets to a point where they're comfortable with their finances and they start to do more of the things they love.
That's awesome.
Whether it's coaching, whether it's volunteering, whether it's spending more time with the kids, grandkids, whatever. I think that's what I think my dad's generation, which was the baby boomers, I think they retired. Right. And they just went to the couch and just learned about Netflix. Right.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I feel that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But what's next though, is I think continue to scale the businesses. I do have some real estate aspirations that some development stuff that we've been working on with some land we bought through the years, where we're developing some office building and some industrial space. But I think
here,
yeah, it's here at Smyrna and
Nice.
in Hendersonville.
Nice.
So I think that I'll probably still, I say work full time, probably for 5 more years, probably to about the age of 60, and then I will.
Step back.
Yeah, probably step back, let my sons, let our children, let the people we've developed take over, and then hopefully ride off into the sunset.
Man,
Do a bunch of traveling
you've
around
done
the
it,
world with
man.
my
You
wife.
deserve that. Yeah,
So that's really kind of the plan.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple of signature questions I always like to ask
Okay.
our guest. The mission of Spread the Positive is bringing light to what's going right. So stuff that's working, bringing value, all the things that you're talking about. What would you consider going right in this crazy world these days?
What is going right? That's a really like a loaded question,
It is.
right?
I love this. That's why I do this.
Yeah, that's such because you think first your head goes political, then
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just not a very political guy. I just really have never been.
Same.
So I kind of steer clear from the politics. And I think from a politics standpoint, I think getting more involved in my local politics
Sure.
is probably more beneficial for me because I can control more of what happens to me, right?
Mhm.
Getting sucked into this political up and
Trash.
down that
Yeah.
we have today is just, I've never seen the country more divided, right? And I've voted for a lot of presidents, right?
Yep.
And that's the one thing that's a little disheartening. So, what I think is going right is I think today people are realizing their value, right? And they're doing more things that they want to do as opposed to what they have to do. I'm seeing young people today looking at careers like, I remember coming out of college, you're just looking for a job, right?
Same.
I think young people today are looking more specifically for things that they want to do.
That's yes.
Right. And I think that's very
a great
positive,
thing.
right?
Yes.
And I think you got to remember too, right? So like I was raised by the baby boomers that when you were 18, you were pushed out of the nest.
Oh yeah.
You weren't coming back, right? And I don't know if because I was raised by a baby boomer and it was tough that I was, people say I might be soft on my children. Like I didn't tell my children they had to leave the house at 18,
Right.
right? They were all welcome to come back and stay in the house for as long as they needed to get on their feet whenever they had a job and do what they were doing. And I think that actually helps the kids today actually not rush into a job and take something that they wouldn't normally have taken because they're desperate to make money.
Right.
Right. So I think the young people are doing probably a pretty good job of picking more of the career that they want to focus on for the next 5 or 10 or 15 years. I remember I started working at 24 years old. I mean, it was like one job every other year,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Just to make a little more money. I didn't really think about what am I doing? I thought about more of what am I making?
Right.
Right. And I think today
Exactly.
they're focused on more of what they're doing. And I think that's good. I think that's good for our society too,
Yeah.
culturally. Right. So
Right.
I think that's a good positive thing that's happening today.
I love that. That's a really awesome answer. Another thing we usually like to wrap with is something I call the grateful for. 4 things you're most grateful for right now. What you got?
Health, number one, health.
That's a great one.
My spouse, my wife, very supportive. My partner, same thing. I couldn't have done this without him. And probably my family. Yeah,
That's solid.
I think those are the 4 good things that
Yeah.
are important to me that I think about a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, man, plug away if people want to connect with you or, or learn more about your companies, all that.
Yeah, so all of our companies, if you go to LinkedIn, you can find me at Rick Heagarty. My last name is spelled differently. What's interesting is I've had a couple of lunches that have been comped for me because they thought I was Bill Heagarty, the senator.
That's so funny.
Right. So, and I actually went and saw him speak a couple weeks ago for a Pinnacle Bank function.
Wow.
And he actually is from Gallatin too, where I live.
Wow.
And his mother actually was a neighbor.
No way.
So, yeah, so it's kind of like
That's
one thing after
crazy.
another, right? But if you want to find me
Small
on
world.
LinkedIn, it's Rick, and the last name is spelled Heagarty, Heagarty.
Got you.
And they can find me there and connect with me on LinkedIn. You can see all of our companies, all the things that I've done, my education profile, the different volunteer pieces that I've been involved in, and the book that I wrote, and just kind
I
of
gotta
everything.
check the book
that-
out.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna check the book out.
Well, the thing is too, it's a quick read. So
Okay.
when we originally wrote the book, it was much longer than it is. So a focus group told us that entrepreneurs only read 50 pages at a time and only pick a book up twice. So the book went from 300 pages to 112 pages.
Wow.
Right. So it's a quick read too.
That's some good.
And it's one of those books too that you don't have to read chapter 1 to understand chapter 2.
Okay.
It's kind of a point and shoot.
You can just pick it up and pick something
and
out.
you can find that on Amazon.
Okay.
It's called Standing Room Only.
Standing Room Only.
Yep.
We'll have all that in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Well, Rick, man, I appreciate you, man. This has been an amazing conversation, and congratulations on everything.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Super inspiring, and great example of what we're all about here at Spread the Positive. So thank you for sharing your story and coming to check out the studio, and hope we can continue to collaborate and see what we could do. But as always, y'all, be sure to check out the new spreadthepositive.net. Come see us here on the Square in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Brand new studio, working on another set next door, so we're super excited about that too. Shout out to the team, Katie, Stephanie, Josh. They've been killing it, and we're super excited about where Spread the Positive is heading. If you have any questions or want to get involved with what we're doing, please feel free to reach out on any of the socials at Spread the Positive, or you can find me at Trent Denson on most of the socials as well. So, Rick, thank you again for being on. We'll wrap this one up.
Thank you, Trent.
Awesome. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go.